Enemy Files. The Master. First appearance, Terror of the Autons, 1971. Portrayed by various actors. The Master is a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey and is the arch enemy of the Doctor. As smart and as intelligent as the Doctor in every way, he, however, is evil and went down the path of evil. Once childhood friends with the Doctor, but due to an occurrence as a small boy at the age of 8, when a Time Lord child or Gallifreyan child is taken from their families to the Academy, they are to stare into the great vortex. Some would be inspired, some would run away, some would go mad. The Doctor stated that he ran away, but the Master, he went mad, as it placed a sound in his head, the sound of drums, which were the heartbeat of a Time Lord, which would later go on to be a signal connecting the Time Lords from whatever universe they're locked out of in the time lock, which they discovered during the events of the Time War, when they broke out of the time lock before the Master put them back in again. When we first came across the Master, he was at the end of all his regenerations, so we first saw the Master in his 13th incarnation when he came to Earth in the early 70s, forming an alliance with the Autons, and also forming alliances with whatever race he could. This incarnation of the Master encountered the Third Doctor and was sinister and menacing, also had the ability of hypnosis. But this incarnation of the Master, originally meant to have a big finale with the Third Doctor, never came to be due to real life occurrences happening. When we saw the Master again, when he encountered the Fourth Doctor, he was decayed and trying to cheat the rules of regeneration, and was willing to frame the Doctor for assassinating the President and taking power to try and rig his regenerations again, but he was stopped by the Fourth Doctor. He would later go on to encounter the Doctor again, although this time looking more human-like, as he was getting power from the planet Traken, where he was fooling everyone into making him the Keeper. However, he was stopped by the Doctor, but had just enough power to take the body of one of the councils, making that his body and regenerating into it. This incarnation of the Master would go on to encounter the 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th Doctors, before he would then be captured by the Time Lords, and as a peace offering between a temporary treaty between the Time Lords and the Daleks, they gave the Daleks the Master, where he stood trial for the crimes that he had committed, and at his request, he requested that the Doctor would take his remains back to Gallifrey, a request they should never had granted, as with what power he had left, he formed himself into a substance liquid and hijacked the TARDIS, crashing it in Millennium Eve in San Francisco, where, desperate to regenerate, he stole the body of a human named Bruce, who was a paramedic that took the wounded 7th Doctor to the hospital. Desperate to try and rig and take the Doctor's remaining lives, he opened the Eye of Harmony, willing to destroy all of the universe just to get what he wants. However, was overpowered by the Doctor and was sucked into the Eye of Harmony, where his consciousness would live on and would go on to be reborn again. However, during the events of the Time War, when the early times when the Doctor did not want to join, the Time Lords resurrected the Master, thinking he would be a perfect warrior for a time war. This incarnation of the Master would fight in the Time War and would be there when the Dalek Emperor took over the Citadel. Terrified by this, he fled the war, making himself human and hiding at the end of the universe, where he would be a kind-hearted man named Professor Yana, but with the sound of drums in his head still. Eventually the 10th Doctor would fall to the end of the universe, where he would encounter Professor Yana, and all memories would be triggered again. Opening the Fod Watch with his Time Lord consciousness inside, Professor Yana became the Master again and revealed his true colours. However, was wounded by Professor Yana's assistant Cheng Fo. He then stole the Doctor's TARDIS and regenerated into his next incarnation, where he would take over the British government and become Prime Minister and take over the Earth. But his plans would be again stopped by the Doctor, and also killed by his wife. He died in the Doctor's arms and was believed to be dead, but a part of him survived, a ring where some followers of his always knew that he may die, and resurrected him. However, with his resurrection being interrupted, he was an unstable body form. However, after sending the Time Lords back into the Time Lock, he then, after a mutual agreement with the Time Lords, they restored his life force and let him go, where he would encounter his future incarnation, the Mistress or Missy, where, after a confrontation with the Cybermen and the 12th Doctor, seeing his future self going with the Doctor, he refused to let that happen. But before killing his future self, she had wounded him, triggering his regeneration. This incarnation of the Master was known as the Mistress, or Missy for short, where she would bide her time collecting the dead and having them converted into Cybermen as a supposed gift to the Doctor. But the Doctor did not allow this, and throughout over time, the Doctor had took her, rehabilitated her, and tried to change her ways, which eventually she did. But due to an encounter with her past self, the Master, she died at his hand, or so we thought. Some unknown incarnation of the Master had eventually found an MI5 operative named O, and took on his identity and his appearance, and worked as O in MI6, where he would eventually bide his time and toy with the Doctor before revealing his true colours. This incarnation of the Master would go on to reveal a great truth about Time Lords and the Timeless Child, which he revealed to the Doctor, and would also go on to rig history and also make a deal with the Daleks and the Cybermen, and even go on to succeed in finally taking over the Doctor's body. But of course, this was all stopped by the help of a hologram of the fugitive Doctor and her companions, the 13th Doctor's companions. Badly wounded and damaged from the ordeal, it's unknown whether the Master escaped or not. But, knowing the Master, he will have escaped, and he's out there again, biding his time, waiting for the right moment to come back. Will he be in a new body? Most likely. But all I know is this will not be the last time we'll have seen the rival Time Lord, the Moriarty to the Doctor's Sherlock Holmes, the Master. And there you have it, the enemy files on the Master. Is there anything I missed about the Master? What's your favourite Master moment? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and to share with your friends, and feel free to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell and share with your friends. All my social media links are down below in the description, so feel free to check all that out. I've been Davros the Whovian, and this has been the Enemy Files, so until next time, run for your life.